Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are back on the highway to the Threemus zone. We are back in the hook route in a crucial elimination match between Moo Money and Superpiccolo. My name is Rex Raoul, and I am joined at the booth by Night Dude. Night Dude, uh, let me know what you're thinking right now as we approach this pivotal match.
What I'm thinking here is there are no jet seeds here as we're looking at this objective list. We're going to need a hook, we're going to need a Luca key, and we're going to need a tower key, and all that. Honestly, Moon may be haunted, possibly, but I can say it's going to be a little bit of a dig. Nobody wants to dig out that Luca key, ever. Especially with that warp glitch enabled. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of run this here. The starting Eddie, we take him or leave him. There's plenty of character flags here that will allow you to kind of customize your party fairly well how you want. What are your thoughts here, real quick?
Yeah, much what you said about the free characters flags. The starting character is a lot less important as far as this particular flag set is, as what characters are available in some of those free spots early. You probably have an opportunity to ditch them, but yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I guess there's still a possibility of a relatively quick seed, but there's no freebies here, no overworld easy objectives, no antlion cave here, no waterfall boss cave here. Like everything requires you to do a lot of dirty work before you can actually complete these objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with like the launch the Falcon there, that's one that doesn't even give a key item for you. And the sealed cave, I would guess that our runners are probably going to use the warp glitch to get that item, fish that one out there still, just because, like I said, nobody wants to dive it. And to be fair, the forging the Excalibur may actually be something they're hoping for, as opposed to diving that one, or even the hook route would save some time if they find the components of that sort early.
So long as they've got access to the warp spell, I imagine, yeah, they'll probably complete the warp glitch first. That way they can be more flexible as to whether or not that sealed cave or is something that they can do. And Dwarf Castle is usually completable much earlier than Seal Cave. Seal Cave's more of an end game, like it's verging on those end game boss levels where the Dwarf Castle bosses are a lot more mid game, so a lot lower stats, a lot less hit points, a lot less power at those bosses in the Dwarf Castle than that one in the Sealed Cave. So it'll at least give them a little bit of an idea of what might open up faster just by having more of those key items available.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, again, both these runners 1-1 in the hook route. This is an elimination match. I know what I'm thinking and what I'm doing it there, but how hard do you gamble right now, knowing that your tournament life is on the line here?
I mean, that's going to be up to the runners, of course, but it kind of depends on feel, and it might depend on if this ends up being a hook seed. And with Launch the Falcon, they probably want it to be a hook seed just to get that out of the way. But when you see what boss is there might determine how much you want to gamble as well. And it's a double Eddie start.
Double Eddie start, Odin handing over the hook immediately, so we know exactly what's going there. And both of those Eddies are named Yamcha, at least on one of those. I missed the other there, but I approve.
Yeah, Yamcha seems appropriate for Edward. That's not if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, at least that seems appropriate.
All right, so double Eddie start. I don't know about you. I'm driving right from Acidia here. Gonna start hitting those character checks, see if I can find somebody else who might do a little bit better here.
Yeah, I think getting more characters is important. I kind of have turned to going a place to loot first. I prefer the watery pass for my first taking a look, so that I can have something to sell in case I want to buy something in the Mysidia shop. But Mysidia is definitely a priority here, and Superpiccolo agrees. Running up to the Tower of Wishes, finds a Rydia for the first character, and who else is he getting here? It's gonna be Rosa. A couple really good magic users.
Yeah, and actually, real quick, what we saw over on Moo Mooney's side here is things you may not want to see in a scene like this. Did find a power shirt in that first pot. However, we did find in the Baron guard slot guarding a Dark Knight Cecil.
Yeah, I think the runners may want to avoid the Baron Inn if they can, just because like Golbez there isn't going to be the most dangerous Golbez, but it's going to be more dangerous than most bosses in that particular spot, and it's going to be a long fight no matter what, and then you're going to have to do that second fight probably with a limited team, unless you want to spend the time and all the resources available to try to resurrect your team during the Golbez fight. So I think, like, if it was me, I'd be looking to avoid the Baron Inn if possible.
Yeah, the one thing going for the Baron Inn right now, however, is with that hook in our runner's hands here, we do know that we have a safe path to the underground. So it still stands to reason that Golbez could be, Golbez and the other fight behind it could be holding on to that Magma Key still.
That's the sort of gamble that you might want to take in this sort of elimination race when we're talking about it, and it might depend on, like, if you end up seeing a nasty boss, even if it isn't like one of the the unsafe bosses or something. But if it's a tough boss like a Kainazzo or a Evil Wall or something in the Rubicante spot, and you're like, I just want to see if there's anything else that I can do. I'm hoping that my opponent might get stonewalled at this boss. I'm going to go and do this place that nobody wants to do, but I know that I can do it in that Golbez fight. That's the sort of gamble that you might make in a situation like this. I'm not saying that they should, and I don't know if I would, but that's kind of I think might be some of the thoughts that might run through my mind.
Yeah, finding a Dark Knight Cecil in Damcian, a little spicy actually, as we saw the treasury in Damcian had a lightsaber, a Gungnir spear, and a blizzard lance, so all kinds of Cecil and Kain weaponry there. And lightsaber's kind of on the bottom end where I start considering Cecil.
Well, that second Cecil and Baron Inn might be another reason, because the two Cecil party is something that a lot of runners favor. Another thing, we've been blessed with good equipment. You mentioned that power robe in Baron. There was also a ninja sword in the Watery Pass. So basically, any of our melee users that you want to go save for Kain or Yang, because he doesn't really use great weapons, have something good. And whatever you're not going to use, you've got something good to sell as well.
Absolutely. Another thing found here, real quick, Piccolo does engage the Hobbs flag. A random summon for Rydia here is Indra or Ramu, based on whichever one you're playing here. Either way, is going to get her on board. The tier 2 summons aren't the best in the world, but for, when she actually gains enough MP to cast those, they're perfectly viable here. And I'm going to guess we're going to see a Hobbs check real fast here. As well as that's a Kain, and doesn't even check to see. Okay, that's some flavor of Mylon, but with all that weaponry, yeah, I would instantly be admitting Kain to my party right now.
Decided to ditch one of the two roses in the team. Sometimes, like, having multiple white mages can be a little bit of a diminishing returns, and so I think that is probably the argument here. But the other side of it is, especially if you've got, if once you find good, like, bows and arrows, you can kind of tweak one out to be a physical damage dealer and one to be a healer. But then there's also upside. There's that lightsaber you're talking about with keeping Dark Knight Cecil. There's that Indra spell that we just got from Rydia, and also she learned Warp at a relatively early level, so that's with that Warp glitch that we talked about. That's important for her. There's an upside to Edward there's a couple bosses he can really cheese, and there's a spoon out there that could be possible for him. So I think this is kind of like just being the most flexible rather than taking the more power, which would be keeping the Rosa.
Yeah, we do find hourglasses in the Cape Eblin shop, and one thing that we did notice Mooney did is instantly sold that lightsaber. So unless we find another Holy Sword around, does kind of seem to be signaling that Cecil may not be long for Mumuni's party here.
Yeah, Mumuni making the play to the early Evelyn Cave, and I kind of like this play. It's if he decides to make the save in here and start looting, there's a this is a pretty highly weighted chest area for the T Wildish flag. Going to be some good equipment potentially in these chests, kind of like that ninja sword that we saw in the Watery Pass. This is similar to that, and we do see the save. There's also the character check. We'll get a peek at what the boss is in that Rubicante spot. A lot of information and a lot of value to be gained in this.
Well, that's a Cecil, and while I don't know if Mumuni's going to be thrilled about that, Leviathan there is not the most of dangerous bosses. I mean, the big wave for 25%, you will want to bring some form of decent healing there. The Ice 2s are going to be middling at best. Definitely far worse than you could see there. Speaking of free, however, we have some not-so attackers over there at the Fool Castle defense.
The King Queen Evelyn will throw some low-level fire spells at you for a little while and then become conscious and disappear. No matter where you find them, they're very easy. So you kind of don't like seeing them in a really easy spot like these overworld boss places, but better to see them somewhere than to never see them at all, I guess.
That was a Poison X. That's a lot of money over there. Crystal Helm. This Evelyn Cave loot is paying for itself now. Not finding the stuff you want to see in terms of equipment, it looks like, but lots of money at least. And with hourglasses being in there, that's a really important item to find in Cave Evelyn. That will trivialize a decent amount of boss spots.
Yeah, there are a number of bosses that are susceptible to the stop status, and a couple of grinds that are made a lot safer by having access to those hourglasses to make whatever method you choose to grind a bit safer as well. So it's a real nice safety, but they are very expensive. We are getting a lot of loot here, but the question is, how much do you want to invest in this? In the hourglasses, and how much do you want to save for other things? Because there's other great items to buy. We're thinking about coffins, we're thinking about sirens, we're thinking about Bacchuses, whichever ones of them may be available.
Not a key item, and I'll answer that one in a sec. We did get a Dragoon Spear out of the full defense here, so Kane is ready to go, honestly. As opposed to those hourglasses, though, the one thing they do open that's immediate is you can now take those Stalemain fight, just based on what you have right now. Now Mumuni probably wants a little bit more offense, but when Superpiccolo goes down there, and based on what I saw Mumuni loot there's only really one place left where that Stalemain chest is going to be, and that's in the infirmary.
Now, with all the good gear that we've found so far, especially in those early overworld checks, I'm not sure how much, like that Stalemain chest overall isn't worth a ton of experience, but it could have some of the best equipment in the game in there. So that's the kind of balancing act that you've got to think about whether or not you want to take it. When going through the Tower of Babel portion of the Cave Evelyn run, there's that Mad Ogre's chest, and that is a great source of experience, and the hourglass work there as well.
Yeah, and honestly, the whole thing is with the hourglasses. If I don't have hourglasses, I'm really thinking about it. With hourglasses, those fights are absolutely free. So that's why I would take those, especially. You've got Kane, you've got your Roses, you've got a Cecil here. Why not? You have a very equipment-hungry group here that wants everything to honestly run here.
Another good piece of equipment found in the Antlion Cave, where Superpiccolo is now finding a rune ring in the Antlion Cave. Very good defensive piece of equipment that also boosts both black and white magic stats. Very good piece of equipment if you've got casters in your group.
Yeah, and Superpiccolo did not sell that lightsaber yet, so Cecil could still be on the table. Mylon Z on Hobbs, and here's the other purple robe, so both Mylons off the table nearly immediately.
It looks like we're going to see Indra be called here. Try to wipe out all those gas in one go.
Yeah, didn't see really any stat 6 for Rydia, but given only 1,000 hit points in this slot, as we see Kane just deal with Mylon immediately, Indra should be able to sweep out those gas.
Yeah, that Dragoon Lance made that gambit up to Mount Hobbs really pay off. We'll see if Mumuni decides to do the full defense early as well. We'll also be rewarded with that Dragoon Lance. I mean, the Gugner Spear that we had before then is a very serviceable weapon for Kane, but the Dragoon Lance is one of his top tier weapons without a doubt.
Oh, only a Cure 3 potion in Antlion. Those are the kind of things that when I run Antlion, but when we get hashtag Team Skip Antlion in here, it's always the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like it's either absolutely nothing or like Magma Key or Darkness Crystal, right?
Yep.
Not a whole lot of in-between ground, at least in my experience here.
Yeah, Piccolo finding that the warp spell in Antlion is a little weird and gets ported back to the boss room.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those dungeons where warp is not the way to get out fast. That one, the Giant of Babel, especially if you go to the wrong room, can function that way too. So there's a couple, like the Seal Cave is like one of the real nice places for the warp spell, which is especially nice because you can't use exit there.
Right. So we've had 3 Cecils here, and I don't know, yeah, Piccolo did not find that power shirt. Very happy to see it. Probably going to be far less happy to
see
where Golbez is hanging out there. But is thinking about it.
Yeah, he's contemplating it.
Rydia no piggy yet.
Yeah, that might have been it. Check the levels, yeah.
And decides that there will be no villainous laughter today just yet, and I'm guessing maybe ordeals?
Yeah, it looks like that's where he's flying to, yeah. Especially with, there's a little bit more incentive on the team. He still has that lightsaber, as you mentioned. He's got the Cecil, so he's going to have a pretty powerful Cecil once you complete this Mount Ordeals, because that's when he becomes a paladin. He'll be able to equip the Holy Swords, and I still don't, like, whether or not you think lightsaber Cecil is worth it, even if you decide that you want to swap him out at some point, until that point, he's going to be very strong.
Well, we've got 3rd Rosa to go with 3rd Cecil here. So we're rolling Oops All Power Couple today, apparently.
Yeah, with just a couple of stragglers alongside. So.
Yeah, both of them have opted to keep their Yamcha right now. And I wonder if they're both hoping for Spoon, or both are thinking about low-level strats aren't really going to be too much here. That's Baigen. Honestly, a really great place to find Baigen.
I agree.
The one thing about this spot is it has almost no physical attacks. So Baigen's triple punches there are going to be just kind of a little weak.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where Baigen is a very scary boss, and this is just it's really a relief to see what could be a potentially scary boss in a place that's really not scary for him. So yeah, very relieved to see him here. Meanwhile, Moo Money has completed Antlion Cave, going to get rewarded with that wonderfully delicious Cure 3 potion.
What does a Cure 3 potion taste like?
I imagine it would be like NyQuil, the green flavor NyQuil. Like, you know it's working because of how it.
Superpiccolo is getting a little bit of mileage out of that Indra spell. Only sweeper we have here, no Palums, so and doing decent work here against Baigan. The main form is down. Both those arms are going to go down here. No problem at all.
And that's one thing. Moo Money went to Mount Hobbs as well, but went the back route, so doesn't have access to that Indra spell. And that could be something that comes up here if we're going to need more of that AoE. That helped with that Mylon fight. It went a lot faster for Piccolo than it did for Moo Money as well. And now that Baigan fight was also a little bit better so far than if Moo Money were to go right now. That Indra spell doing a lot of work.
Did see life potions. I know you get about, somewhere around 13 to 15 in that starter pack, but always finding more for life glitches and the like is always nice. As we find some elements here in the back attack slots.
This is a little bit scarier than the Baigan fight for sure. Depending on how they decide to handle it, it could be relatively easy. This Rubicante portion of the bus is almost certainly the scariest.
Oh yeah, and here comes the fire 2. That did a lot of damage, and the fire 3, unless this Indra forces the phase change here, is not gonna go well here. Oh no, he healed right off of it, so that bonus leg is gonna do some damage. Kane, I do believe, has one piece Dragoon equipment and will have it, but looking a little scary with the glare and
the glare came too fast.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah, if you can get past the Rubicante portion of the Elements fight, I think Superpiccolo is going to be fine. But that one is that is a scary portion of the Elements fight, and trying to get through that phase the fastest is going to be the key to this particular boss with this setup that we've got in the team.
Yeah, now I don't know if they had any mage killers, because the one thing is that the Rubicante form, when it pops up, 500 was enough to shift it here, but the Rubicante form, in elements at the very least, is weak to mage type weapons. So if you have a mute knife, you have a rune axe, mute arrows, elven bow, any of those will get the job done. Kane got his Kainatsu, so the dangerous part of the fight is now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the rest of it is a gimme, but I think the Rubicante part is the most dangerous of them all.
Yeah, and we kind of see just how fast the tier 1 magics kind of get outclassed there, as Iridia drops a big old 21 with that lit one on Kainatsu there.
But now we're into the Valvalis, the fourth and final form of the elements. And with this, I think Superpiccolo has done what he needed to do, made the adjustment, took the unfortunate reset, but got through the fight, and there's the crumble. Oh. Well played there.
All right, so we are going to be rewarded with a paladin that still has access to that lightsaber. We'll have access to an immediate back row glitch thanks to Rose's opening equips. And I kind of like him a little better now that Mumuni is also headed to ordeals. Doesn't have that lightsaber. Did see a poison axe, I believe, in the Cave Evelyn looting spree. So not a terrible weapon there either.
Yeah, it's a very decent weapon for the early and mid game, without a doubt. Especially if you put him in the middle spot. The axes kind of suffer from having a low hit percentage, but you get a hit percentage boost if you put a character in the middle position of your party. So the poison axe can do real work for a character in the middle position.
Not immediately useful, but that's a really nice thing to see on ordeals there. That pan is like I said, not going to help him out immediately, but a really nice thing to see, and something that at least tells you that your ordeal's play was probably worth it.
If you can make it so that you only have to walk through that Sylph Cave once throughout a run, that is pretty nice.
So, the question here, with Superpiccolo, is you really have two options here. Do you dive Hook and leave Golbez to his own devices, or do you decide to bite the bullet and head to Baron Inn?
Well, I think Superpiccolo is more likely to go do the Golbez fight. He doesn't know what Moo Money does as far as the fact that the Leviathan is the boss in the in the Rubicante spot. So Moo Money knows that it's not like a top tier boss, like not the scariest. There's ways to mitigate the damage that Leviathan pulls out, both with healing, and if the ice magic is too hard, you can throw on Star Veils. There's ways that you can get around that. And so you might be inclined to say, I've got what it can take with the Mad Ogre's chest coming up. I'll have a bunch more experience. Maybe I just do that. Whereas Superpiccolo might be saying, I want to find the Magma Key if I can, and so I'm going to go do the Golbez fight. He still could choose the other way, but we'll see.
Yeah, one thing that Superpiccolo has but doesn't even know about here is something we alluded to earlier. Superpiccolo has that Indra on Rydia. So can exploit that lightning weakness of Leviathan a lot easier there, and we did see it do about 2,400 to the Valveless portion, which is Thunder Weak. So that's going to speed up that fight semi-dramatically if that Rydia can stay upright, but Piccolo is saving and looks to be heading to the Baron Inn.
I think that's another thing, that if Superpiccolo had known that it was Leviathan in the Rubicante spot, then, especially knowing that he's got Indra in his bag of tricks, might be even more inclined to go there, but he doesn't know that, so he's going to take on this long Golbez fight. And it could pay off.
Yeah, is getting Edward hidden there, so we'll actually have 3 characters surviving to the second part of this fight.
Yeah, but one of them is Edward.
He can throw a life potion with the best of them.
I guess. There are a lot of bosses in that second spot that are no joke at this level that we're at in the game too. If it's a nasty antlion or something like that, then that could be a very dangerous fight indeed.
Yeah, the only good thing about it is that it is relatively slow, especially that we brought a level 1 Cecil here. So it is at least going off the level 1 Cecil's agility as Edward pops back in, will be able to veil up, will be able to toss a life pot or 2 if necessary, and probably wants to get that Vegeta up and running here.
Well, it's not going to be a level 1 Cecil for long because he did not die to the Shadow Dragon, and he's going to gain levels in this fight.
Board AI still on point.
Or maybe he won't.
Out that Eddie before a Star Veil can come up. The good news is Rosa will get right through it here. The bad news is you have a second fight in this spot, and marching in with just Rosa, you're going to have to hit him once there.
I think the question is, do you want to try to revive somebody? Look at how fast Golbez is compared to Rosa. I think you just hit and finish him off. But I don't know if Superpiccolo is aware of the script where you have to action. Yeah.
I mean, this is only 400 hit points of Golbez here, so
Meanwhile, Moo Money is taking on that nasty elements fight now and is also having a tough time against this Rubicante form.
Yeah, did get Edward hidden, did get Kane in the air, and there we go. Down goes Golbez there. Our second is a Moon Sparkle. Oh no, it's Wyvern!
Oof. At least
Rosa does get the veil up, but I don't know if Wyvern has enough spell power to kill himself. Oh no, not nearly.
not enough.
Kane does have that Dragoon Spear. If you can get that Kane upright for a swing or two, you have a chance. And again, like we said, the relative speed of this slot actually should get through.
Ooh, I think that was the misclick.
That was
The
definitely
nerves might be there.
The nerves on Wyvern here. Yeah, actually, just get Kane swinging jump. That quad damage on that Dragoon Spear will end this fight extremely quickly.
That was yeah, that was well played there by Superpiccolo. And as you mentioned, this spot is notoriously low speed, so being able to get through it, being able to have the time to get up that Star Veil,
Yeah,
is the
Kane
key.
can jump 35, 40. That'll do it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that Dragoon Spear, it would have been a lot more difficult to try to get through it while keeping everything. Get a rat tail for it. We have a hook that could be some.
It could. That is one of the spiciest Baron ends I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that was a couple of formidable things, and we're going with the double Cecil strategy. Love to see that from Superpiccolo.
Now we gotta remember, even if Magma Key comes up here, Objective 2 is still launch the Falcon, so unless we find what we're looking for, they're still gonna have to dive that hook regardless. I mean, again, like I said, Leviathan, not so bad there. But that King-Queen slot in front has derailed more than a few party members.
Yeah, that is not a spot to be underestimated by any stretch of the imagination.
And to be fair, I know exactly who I want to see there. I know who they don't want to see, because I want to see a Pain Man there.
Pain Man, if I want to inflict harm on the runners, like Ogopogo is my go-to for that spot.
Oh no! That Pain Man in that spot will do roughly about
Pain
600
Man is rough.
damage per Dark Wave.
Yeah, and I guess since we haven't found like a Sid or a Yang, somebody who has a really good tank, but Paladin Cecil gains HP relatively quickly. I think with the right timing of healing items and everything like that, I think Pain Man will be manageable there, but it would still be difficult.
Yeah, we do see a Sand Ruby there, and Superpiccolo is gonna give us, looks like our Watery Pass and Vanilla Demas checks. Wants to eliminate all possibilities here, and here we see Vanilla Leg taking a shower.
And it looks like Moon Money has decided to just bail on the Mount Ordeals plan. That Elements fight just wrecking too much, doesn't want to beat his head against it, instead gonna pursue some other options here, doing some shopping right now.
Yeah, and I don't blame, because that's a really hard, that's not a free Elements fight at all. Speaking of free fights, exactly where you don't want them, that was a Water Hag in the Mist Cave, so wherever we see those blue robes next is going to be our alt gauntlet. But I could see Superpiccolo possibly checking out this Sand Ruby. Maybe not. I would check it out just because I still, I believe we saw a Ninja Sword and a Full Moon.
Ninja Sword, Long Sword, Full Moon. We've seen a lot of good edge gear.
Yeah, I would be very interested in potentially finding a ninja right now.
Ooh, it looks like he's going to do the Evelyn Castle check.
Ooh, this is spicy.
Yeah, this is like a good way to shore up your experience before heading to a. Yeah, that's a White Spear too. A good way to shore up your experience before diving a hook route. But man, it's also a place where you can get some of the best loot in the overworld.
Now, one of the things that, and actually Superpiccolo would be even better suited to coming over there to shore up the party, if just because Mumoni knows where hourglasses are.
That's true. Hourglass is absolutely helping this fight, or all the fights really in the Eplin Castle. Looks like gonna be trying to commit to this double Cecil grind by using a coffin on the center position Cecil, so that he doesn't gain experience and thus doesn't gain agility, keeping his agility low so that he'll be a low agility anchor for the rest of the
Yeah,
the rest of the season.
this is a super interesting spot to be trying that, just because this fight is not really any kind of joke here. This fight is definitely, after going through so many cataseeds on this fight hurts.
The powerful Kane jump does save the day. Get through this. Get berserk on Rosa. Got 16 levels on Cecil. That is nice.
Oh
Looks
my!
like
Our summoners are online now. That's the King of all dragons, everybody.
Meanwhile, one thing that Moo Money found before returning to Mount Ordeals here was a Blizzard Spear for Kane. So trying to make short work of that Rubicon portion of this fight, and I think that's pretty heads up, because now he's going to be able to just do tons of damage in one hit with that jump from Kane with the Blizzard Spear.
Yeah. Superpiccolo driving right out of there, and to be fair, after finding a Bahamut summon and a White Spear,
yeah,
why not?
And you got a big chunk of experience from that one fight too. Like, that was the prep that he felt confident in. Like, now I'm ready. Whatever whatever comes in this fight here, I think, or at least the majority of the fights that could come up, I think I'm well prepared for. And really, Rydia Bahamut is going to make mincemeat of most bosses.
Yeah. Speaking of prepared, Moomuni coming back with that Blizzard Spear, getting all kinds of revenge on that Rubicante there. Cruises right through, gonna get Paladin Cecils. More importantly, gonna get, I believe that was the Pan. Yes, the Pan.
Yeah,
there.
the Pan.
So, yes, still super important. Gonna be a little relieved to see that. Piccolo getting the news of other Cecil, getting the news of the Leviathan. Probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah, he probably would have been happy enough with the Indra in the tank, but with Bahamut, that's even better.
Oh yeah. Especially that full heal right before it, so you know Rudy is going to have a couple in the tank, probably 2 based on the level right now.
And that means that you can go ahead and spam Bahamut in the King Queen Eblet fight too. So free heals are always nice, and remembering when you've got those free heals is important too.
And Superpiccolo dropping a Cecil for a Cecil, maybe just like the
Paladin a little more
better, yeah. It is equipping this one with an Assassin Dagger. And loading this one up, I am not sure here.
Might be wanting to use the Assassin Dagger to try to one-shot the
Mad Ogres,
Mad Ogres. If he picked up an Hourglass in the Eblin shop, he can use Stop on the Mad Ogres, and the way that the Swoon procs from the Assassin Dagger goes, if the enemy is stopped, you've got a 100% chance of getting that Swoon.
Yeah, and yeah, it's I mean, they can take the Assassin Dagger off for anchoring anytime here, but
yes. But it looks like he might be skipping the chest anyway, so we'll see what the strategy is going to be for Superpiccolo, because he did utilize that that tool that we have, the pressing the select button in the menu to pull up the details of the equipment or item that you have, which lets you see where it gives that +5 agility on there. So Superpiccolo is aware of what's going on here. We'll see what his strategy is for this upcoming King Queen fight, and we don't even know what the boss is here yet. Neither of our runners have checked this.
Yeah, I mean, does know the King Queen fight does not give any XP, so might be in an all hands on deck situation here.
That could be as well. And
Called it!
you got your wish, Night Dew. You got your wish.
Oh, this is ultra rude right here. Pain Man doing what Pain Men do best, and what now?
I'd definitely go find those mad ogres. That's the first thing that I do.
Oh yeah, I take that Assassin Dagger off that middle Cecil immediately.
Yeah, lower that battle speed.
Superpiccolo going back to the menu screen like, wait, is Pain Man on the list of restricted bosses? And no, he is not.
And you see Superpiccolo not going to go run back into that fight right away. We'll see if he's going to be hunting for those mad ogres or if he just wants to bail it and go somewhere else, maybe do those other fights in Eblin Castle.
There you go. There is the Mad Ogre's chest right there. And I do believe bought like 2 hourglasses. Yep, there they are.
2 is 1 more than you need for this fight.
Now, with this fight here, let's see, another Cecil will get these levels here. Probably will get close-ish to about that 1200 threshold that you really want to be at. And I'm not sure, is killing off that Assassin Dagger Cecil here. I think. No, it's gonna burst the lightsaber Cecil. So now it does look like Moo Mooney is gonna make the play to Eblin Castle as well here.
You know, in this particular seed, like, I think in this flag set, Eblin Castle is generally not a good play. However, in this seed, now we know that there's a couple really nasty things. There's that Baron Inn with the Galvez Wyvern, and then there's this Pain Man here. And these are the 2 things that Moo Money has to fight. Now, of course, he doesn't know that this Pain Man is waiting for him, but that Galvez did a number on him. So going here makes perfect sense at this time. You've got to, right now, it's all hands on deck. We need to do what we can in order to get the levels that we need in order to proceed in this seed.
Yep, did get the hourglass off, but not before those Stalemate and Skull did a number on the party here. And I believe the other chest is the one that had the
Black Cat Lamia next door,
that
and
had
the Bahamut Summon.
So we're gonna get a little bit of new information here of what we're gonna find. Speaking of the Mad Ogre's chest goes down, looks like he got 2 out of 3 there, and is going to be rewarded with another Dragoon Spear. That's a dart, or that is a lot of money.
If you're going to be funding things like those hourglasses, then the money is going to be very useful. We still don't have an edge. We've got a lot of good equipment for an edge, but as of right now, I wouldn't count on dart.
No, Piccolo is driving back towards the fight here. Basically, the whole thing, turning battle speed all the way down to 6. Yeah, the name of the game here is definitely, can I get that Cecil enough Cure 2s to get through? And the thing is, you're going to have to absorb roughly anywhere from about, I'd say roughly 1600 to 1750 here. But yeah, that Anchor Cecil still does have the Assassin Dagger, so Kane does survive the first Dark Wave, but I think needs to get that Assassin Dagger off that second Cecil.
Yeah.
To have a chance here.
Yeah, that was at battle speed 6. He
Yes.
didn't get an action at the slowest battle speed there is.
Okay, shifts his other Cecil, which might actually do something here. Is back at battle speed 1, I think, because I think he saved and then shifted battle speed here. But this is an interesting brick wall, and I love whoever rolled this seed.
Ooh, he got a teaser of a turn this way.
That chest was a life staff, by the way.
Another really good piece of equipment. We've got a lot of good equipment so far in this seed, as we mentioned a couple times. That is one thing that we're not starved for. What we are starved for is like the way to do like it's kind of raw power weapons, but not kind of specific. Like we didn't see like a mutant knife, which would be good against that Rubicante. We had to hunt for that blizzard spear. We don't have these kind of specialized sort of things that we kind of use to get through early parts of a lot of seeds, and without that, it's proving to be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, and Baka's probably saying something here. If you give Kane that assassin dagger,
yeah,
and that probably gives him enough time to toss a key or two over to Cecil.
Yeah, that's a good point. The assassin dagger giving a boost to somebody else to try to boost their relative agility up a notch is something that could really help in a fight like that Dark Knight Cecil in the King Queen Evelyn spot.
Yeah, I wonder if Piccolo is thinking, let's go find those other trap chests, see if I can find something that might help, or the levels here, because a couple more levels will at the very least get you to Ninja Hat. That might have helped as well.
Yeah, the Ninja Hat, another piece of equipment that boosts the agility.
And
yeah, I just...
oh, go ahead.
Well, it's just like, I wonder if, like, when you talk about base level Cecil, I think he was with the Assassin Dagger. Does that make to, like, 14, 15 agility? Is that right?
That sounds roughly about right. I believe base level Cecil is, what? Oh, 18? Base level Cecil is 13? That's interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty fast, honestly.
Base level is 13. For some reason, I was thinking it was 10. But yeah, I'm not sure what the strategy with that Assassin Dagger is in that case. Because oftentimes, like, 14 is a number that a lot of people have in their heads based on some like kind of older, like kind of now debunked information about these multiples of 14 for the Threemus fight.
Yeah, and
that's what it is. Dark Knight Cecil's base level agility is 10. That's what I was thinking of. I was getting my Cecil swapped.
Yeah, and Mumuni is not stopping here in terms of loot. It does look like Superpiccolo is going to join him back in Castle Evelyn. Only
like I mentioned.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, like I mentioned earlier, I think this makes sense in this seed. When you're stuck with a really tough boss, and one way this is an RPG after all. If you level up to a higher enough level, you're gonna get through the boss.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, the fights here, especially because Moon is probably going to go through and check that Mad Ogre's fight as well. Mm-hmm. If you can get Cecil up to about, say, 1,300 hit points, you've got an even shot at getting in there and having Cecil tank the first two and being able to do something about number 3.
Yeah, I think we found our roadblock in this seed, and Mooney hasn't even seen it yet.
I mean, I remember this roadblock in many seeds here. Ooh, defense sword, that's nice.
Like, if maybe Kane's best weapon, a great weapon for Cecil too. Remember, Mumuni doesn't have that lightsaber. So that's going to be a big one for him. It might be a bigger weapon for Superpiccolo, even though he does have the white spear for Kane. But having one that's the defense sword can often do better damage than the white spear or the dragoon spear, because swords generally have a much better, hit percentage than the spears or lances do.
Yeah, it's not entirely splitting hairs there. I'm happy with anything Dragoon Lance, White Spear, Defense Sword, 4K.
Those are all good. It's good to share the love though, and he does have a Cecil who can use it, especially since he sold that lightsaber earlier.
Yeah, that is one thing with the shops how they are here right now. You could scour the overworld, try to find a curse ring for a Cecil.
That is definitely an option as well. We haven't seen a full shopping. Like, I think there are definitely, like, I don't think any of the runners went to Agar, which has an armor shop. I don't know if anyone went to the Mist Village for the shops there. Silvera might have been skipped over, and definitely Kaipo. Nobody's gone to Kaipo yet. So there's a number of armor shops that could have that curse ring for sale.
So down goes the Mad Ogre's chest on Mooni's side. So what is the last piece of loot we have here? Just an Excalibur.
Just an Excalibur. It looks like Superpiccolo has switched where the Assassin Dagger is, because we're seeing these swoon procs on the Mad Ogres. So that's going to really help out.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't switch it back.
Yeah, both are actually going to come out of here with pretty much all the loot intact here, which, again, as chat has saying, this is a fairly huge stacked Evelyn Castle for this group here.
This whole seed's been stacked. There's been such great equipment. First ring.
That is exactly what Mooni needed right there. Did Piccolo skip that chest? I hope not. I did not see if Piccolo hit that chest there, but that is...
Yeah, I might have missed it, but it's definitely something that he could have done. Like, and we might have just been focusing on what Moo Money was doing at that time, but if he's got it, then that's wonderful.
I'm looking, didn't see it in that trip through the, I don't think I saw that curse string in there.
Unless he already put it on the Cecil who's knocked out.
True. Yep, and the Stalemen were in the infirmary here.
Yeah, and I think, as you mentioned before, Moo Money may have known that, like, he checked all the other chests, so it had to be in there, and so kind of went in there knowing that that's what he was going to get. And now with this new equipment, this new jump in levels from the Mad Ogre's chest in Babil and the 3 Eblin Castle checks, going to go ahead and give it another shot. I hope that he did get that curse ring and put it on Cecil. That may help. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if not, Kane did get a ninja hat. The assassin dagger did move. So those are other things going well in Superpiccolo's favor here. Should be able to eke out a few actions. May want to lower that battle speed again before taking this fight. And just a poison axe, so just more money in the infirmary here.
Yeah, Moo Money doing a lot more methodical clearing of these, like, higher tier looting. He did all of Evelyn Cave, where Superpiccolo skipped a lot of the looting in Evelyn Cave itself. So Moo Money is going to have a bit more of an equipment and money edge to Superpiccolo, but Superpiccolo knows about this Pain Man and has been prepping for it, and that's kind of the knowledge advantage on Superpiccolo's side at this time.
Yeah, and it's one thing where Mooni is going to knows about the Leviathan, doesn't know about the Pain Man.
Yeah,
is going to be paid off handsomely, actually, for all this. One might call a little bit of over prep, but honestly, and here we go. 610. Ooh, 524. This needs to be a really high roll cure too. I don't think that's enough. Ooh.
Yeah, just a little bit more hit points that he needed in that one. That's
Yeah, actually, I think that's one of the ones where I did see a little bit of an earlier turn there. Oh, does have a cure 3. There you go. 1 cure 3. You should get right by that.
Oh yeah, because we got that cure 3 from completing Antlion Cave. So it was It was an important to complete Antlion.
That Cure 3, absolutely necessary.
Required Antlion for the Cure 3. Oh, that was a high roll.
A high roll him now, and that's the thing. 1151 hit points with this Cecil swinging for anywhere between, it looks like about mid 500s to looks like top end 650 there. You're still just gonna get a little bit of RNG there.
Yeah, and now it's going to be just like rinse and repeat. Knows that it can be done at this point, basically.
All right, so first roll, 621. That's yeah. Oh man, at this point, do you just flip encounters on and try to get just one more level on that Cecil?
That's not actually a horrible idea at this point, really.
Yeah, does seem wanting to make absolutely sure, or does want to seem to try to force it. Did see that Cecil survive once, and I don't know if that was just a combination of low rolls there. It does look like Mumuni's gonna have a Cecil in almost the exact same position, HP-wise. 560 is good.
560 is a great number to see.
635.
635 is not. Yeah, he is right on the cusp. Right now it's doable, but as we're seeing, it's a pretty low % chance of doing it.
Yeah. The Crystal Armor, unfortunately, Dark Knight Cecil cares not for your armor, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm thinking if I'm Superpiccolo, after a couple attempts here, knowing that Cecil survived it once and is right on the cusp, just flip encounters on, have ready to microwave some dudes, and you're good to go. So Mumuni has caught up and is about to get the bad news here.
Yeah, this is going to be Mumuni's first time seeing just how nasty this Dark Knight Cecil in this spot is.
Rosa did get a turn, but Pain Man is...
It was one of those air quotes turns where
yeah.
she could queue up something, but it didn't matter what she was gonna do anyways.
Now, one thing to know is that Cecil was not topped off there, and it looks like, okay, well, there's the curse ring. And here's the thing, as much as you want to anchor that bard there, Cecil still controls the agility and the spice.
Rybon in the chat asks, can Eddie just hide here? Yeah, he can, but he needs to get a turn first.
Yeah, if Eddie can get a turn, he can hide, and you will get the Justice Speech.
And that might be what Mumuni is trying to do here by moving the positioning around a little bit. So we might be trying to see if we can get a quick hide off.
Does not look it as Eddie goes down immediately before any turn comes up. And there comes the second swing, and yeah, both of these runners, their Cecil is just right on the cusp of taking two of these without fail. Just turn on random encounters, get you one level, and you'll get through. And actually, yeah, Mumuni was going into that without a topped off Cecil. They seem to think here. I mean, if you put a curse ring on Cecil, well, that's the thing. If you put the curse ring on the Cecil, oh, Piccolo's through.
We got there.
He got the rolls he needed.
This was a battle of attrition for sure. Like, he knew it was possible, and so kept doing it, and eventually got it done. Well played by Superpiccolo.
Justice is not the only right in this world, says the guy who killed me like 8 times.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're not through yet. We still have that Leviathan fight.
Yeah, compared to Dark Knight Cecil, though, Leviathan is going to be a much more relative cakewalk here.
The difference is,
Especially with Rosa having that life staff, those Cure 2s can probably take care of most of that 25%.
I think the question is, like, exactly how hard are the Ice 2s going to be? I think that's going to be the more scary attack. And how long will Rydia's MP last to get as much damage through as needed? Because we're really, like, that lightsaber Cecil is okay at this point, but not the greatest. Kane is pretty good. He's decked out pretty well right now. But I think the main chunk of damage is going to be through that Bahamut. But this is a high HP spot.
Yeah, you'd almost wish you had Sylph for that Rydia there, just to kind of do a little bit of more patching up, because you really want Rosa to be tossing out Berserks here.
And that Sylph would be a way to just mitigate the MP struggles that Rydia might have at this point for a long boss as well.
I mean, Rosa took that Ice 2 pretty well at just taking him 200 and change there.
I think that crystal armor might still be on the Cecil as we see.
That crystal armor is totally still on that Cecil.
Yeah, the crystal armor unfortunately makes you immune to the Berserk status. And it's a great piece of gear, but that is definitely a weakness.
Okay, so Mumuni is shifting here, going to put as much agility on that Cecil. Knows that only needs to get one heal off on that Cecil here.
The question is if he remembers about that Cure 3 that he found in Antlion. That is, at least for Superpiccolo, that was the key to victory.
Yeah, and I actually like that coffin there, just because you really don't want to be splitting those Cure 2s any further than you have to at this point.
There's that, and you don't want to get, like, this is a pretty good experience point too, and there is a catch-up mechanic that if your level is 5 levels below the party median or more, you get a higher, you get a multiplier on your experience. And if you're going to be relying on that center Cecil as your anchor, you don't want him to get a bunch of levels and thus a bunch of agility for this fight as well.
Yeah, and Mumuni's Cecil did survive 2 Dark Waves, but wasn't able to get the turn needed for Cecil to survive that fight. And is looking at that crystal ring saying, maybe.
Like, just more things that just bump that agility up. Yeah. But he's through. Superpiccolo has defeated Leviathan.
Yeah, like I said, not going to be nearly as bad as that Dark Knight Cecil. Superpiccolo is underground at, and here's the thing, you're in the hook route, the hour, it's 1 hour into the seed. Now, mind you, there was an incredibly rude boss in between you and the underground. And Superpiccolo checked off almost everything, so he knows there's no hidden magma route here. Does not give us a peek at the top of the tower, unfortunately. Okay, so Mumuni Cecil did get a Cure 2 off. Needs to make it a Cure 3, unfortunately.
Unless that was the last Dark Wave. No, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, it needed to be the Cure 3.
So, odds on Superpiccolo going to say, I have a pan and I wish to use it, is probably really high here.
There's that with Rydia. We've got Dwarf Castle open. There's a free check in the Fey March. There's a lot of things that are open for Superpiccolo now. Now, one of the interesting things is, it took Superpiccolo many times to get through that Dark Knight Cecil. And of course, our runners have no idea where each other is at, so he doesn't know that Moo Money is still stuck on that Dark Knight fight right now. And Dark Knight, Moo Money using the Cure 3. Hopefully that wasn't too early.
It was before the second. Does need to not get high rolled here, but it was a little early.
Oh, so close.
Oh. But that is good news for Mumuni because
he's on the right path.
He knows now that if he just delays that Cecil a little bit, takes the second Dark Wave, and lives through it, that Cure 3 will put him through.
But one thing that I was mentioning, Superpiccolo having fought that fight many times and beat his head up Vincent, he might be thinking that he's super behind right now because it took him that many attempts to get through there. And that might alter the play. You might want to see, like, I don't know about you, but if I feel like I'm behind, I'm more apt or more likely to be wanting to make more gambles. So that's something that we might see. But looks like Moo Mooney did finally get through this Dark Knight Cecil. Our runners are actually really close right now, especially since what the nature of the objectives that we still have. We don't have the Tower Key yet. We haven't found the Legend Sword or the Adamant, and we don't have the Luca Key. So everything is still up in the air at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, yes, if I am hitting the underground on a hook seed at an hour or two and I didn't have a bunch of earth to full clear, yeah, I absolutely feel behind here.
Okay, well, now we've got a Luca Key because Superpiccolo just found it in the Feymarch. So this might be one of those seeds where the first objective is very difficult to get there. Like, it took an hour to get there, but now we've got access to another one. So this might be one of those seeds where getting past that first difficult thing is the key to getting through the seed.
Yeah, and real quick, we did find a Stardust Rod.
Yeah.
On the Sylphs there, Superpiccolo does look to be exiting the Feymarch, does not give us a boss check here. Now, to be fair, does have hourglasses, but we also know that
what a tiara for Rydia too.
That is
Rydia is decked out.
Fully armed and operational summoner is what we have right there.
This is getting really interesting. It's really going to be fun to see where our runners go and where these other key items are found.
Yeah. And, Leviathan does not want to be taking any Bahamut's today over on Moo Moonies. Does take out that Rydia with an Ice 2 here. Is getting Berserks up on the Cecil, and I'm guessing Kane down there as well. Or may just be jumping, actually, but...
Yeah, I don't know if that Kane is back row glitched, so might just be relying on jump strategies there.
Did get an Asura summon available. More Dragoon armor, another defense sword, and no validation.
Yeah, I was rooting for Superpiccolo for a little while because of how well he dealt with that, but
I almost thought he was walking back in to do it, and he's like, no, I'm just here to check out the shops.
Going into the armor shop first there makes me think, and it looks like we didn't see that that curse ring, did we?
No, we did not see that curse ring. Superpiccolo did miss the curse ring, and that might be... Now, unfortunately, the whole thing is Moo Mooney does have the curse ring, but only one Cecil, and...
Yeah. This is unusual setups that we're seeing from our runners, but so far they're getting through it, and that's the real important thing. And Coffin's a very useful item found in the Dwarf Castle. Can one-shot enemies that don't have the boss bit. There are certain bosses, as we mentioned, that are vulnerable to status effects like Coffin, and there are certain grinds that the Coffins really help out on too.
Yeah, so we have two things that are either on the moon or not appearing in the seed, at least via shops, is we do not have Bacchus and we do not have Siren.
That's true. Now, did I miss it? Did Superpiccolo check the Tomra item shop? I know he went back
Yeah,
in.
did check the Tomra item shop. I believe there were Star Veils
Okay.
and 2 other things, but neither of what you were looking for.
No Sirens, no Bacchus. And those are, I think those are the primo items, without a doubt, that you're looking for as far as the item shops and gated shops.
Yeah, especially with this party here. But we are about to see if Sheila has the quote-unquote goods here.
Well, it is one key item, the Baron Key, and the Baron Key does have 2 potential key item checks behind it, so that's pretty good. A Strength Ring is not a bad thing when you've got a party that has Kane and Cecil in it as well.
Yep, and meanwhile, Mumuni is through, is going to the underground, isn't that far behind here.
Not at all. And and remember, oh, I said remember, and I forgot. So
yeah,
I should listen to myself sometime.
Antlion showing us Antlion, the boss of Lower Battle there.
Antlion is kind of a blessing and a curse there. Its physical attack isn't going to be super strong, but it's a pretty high HP spot, and if you're going to be relying on berserked fighters to get through that, that's a lot of counterattacks that you're going to eat.
Yeah, got a curious play going on here. Superpiccolo is marching up the Tower of Zod, and no Earth Crystal in hand. Wants to know, this is a Demus check, it looks like, because not even checking the chest for Flame Dog. Just really wants to know the boss of Tower Zod, apparently.
This might be when you feel like you're behind, you're going to make the big gamble. And this might be the big gamble here.
Yeah, now one thing you do get to realize here is you still get to look at the boss of Dwarf Castle and the first character of Zot. If you take this boss on.
If you take this, and seeing Dr. Luge, it's a very fast reset. Not a surprise there. The gamble didn't pay off this time, but I think that's what we were seeing there was just the gamble. Like, this is like, if it pays off, this could be winning the race big, you know?
Yeah. What it did is it did give more time back to Mumuni there to catch up here.
Yeah, without a doubt, and that's always the risk that comes with a gamble like that.
Yeah, so at this point, Superpiccolo is landing in front of Dwarf Castle, and yeah, kind of figure this play might be coming here. Yeah, might have been checking. Yeah, might have been checking if Magma Key was potentially in play, but yeah, that's a hard one to swallow there. Here's Mom Bomb as the first dwarf or fight in Dwarf Castle. No, he's not a dwarf. Asura, Starbales, and Echo Notes was the full Tomra list there. Talking to the other dwarf.
Oof. I'm getting denied left and right on my job, dwarf.
Yeah, one just not talking to him at all, the other one just giving us just giving you a little tease there with the other one.
Talking to the job dwarf's buddy.
I mean, the job dwarf's buddy needs love too.
If I recall correctly, job dwarf's text in the vanilla game is something like, "Oh, you came along all this far? Take this," or something like that. And the job dwarf in the vanilla game, of course, says, "I am a farmer."
I love all this RPG logic here. Yeah, that dwarf totally says, "Hey, you came back here, loot my house. I don't care. I mean,
exactly.
Where are these people in my life?"
We see the power overwhelming strategy from Superpiccolo as the Mom Bomb. Mom Bomb has like 9,000 more hit points than whatever boss spot you're at, and just able to get through it without a problem, not even getting to the explode and turning into the 6 smaller bombs.
Yeah, a couple Zerkers are just great for that, and did see ninja swords getting sold there. Mumuni saying the ship has sailed on edge, and there's a Palom, and with to be fair, with Bahamut Ridias, the ship has kind of sailed on Palom as well.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of need for Palom at this point. You've got really powerful berserkers that you're not really concerned with, like leveling up a mage up to the point where they learn nuke at the end of the game. And if you're not doing that, then the Bahamut that Rydia has is good enough that any sort of quakes or other spells that you're going to get on Palom are going to be necessary. You've got what you need already.
Yeah, absolutely. Rydia's job generally isn't Zeromus. Rydia's job is to get you to Zeromus.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, to be fair, that's often Palom's job too. It's just easier to kind of transform Palom into a Zeromus fighter as well than it is Rydia. But when you've got that Excal Cecil, you don't need a whole lot else for the Zeromus fight.
Yeah, Excal Cecil, Kane with every weapon he ever wanted imaginable, other than you've got two extremely competent fighters ready to go. And we're about to get our check to the back of Sealed Cave here. And we've already got one of those, unfortunately. I think we already have two of those, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've got plenty of good equipment and plenty of good stuff to sell. Like, money is not going to be an issue this seed. Equipment is not going to be an issue this seed. But the Legend Sword has been found.
Oh,
so Superpiccolo, one item away from go mode, either the Tower Key or the Legend Sword, and we're off to the races, because with that Luca Key in hand, we've got access to the Sealed Cave.
Yeah, so right now, Superpiccolo has a decision here. It's Feymarch bosses, Keyless Tower, or that Baron Key, and seems to settle on Keyless Tower here.
I really like this choice here. I think the really interesting player, what could be in play, is if it's Vanilla Tower Key, he is perfectly set up for that.
Yeah, and sorry, I asked, pointing out something that we're not one item away here, as there is no pass, there is no Darkness Crystal.
Yes,
we still got to get up there somehow to fight the guy.
I'm so excited! I'm getting ahead of myself again.
I do it all the time still.
But I still like this play, the Keyless Tower, especially since we don't have something like Sirens. Those bosses down at the bottom of Feymarch, even if we haven't seen them yet, those can be some extremely scary bosses, and having access to something else before then makes a lot of sense. Now, this Antlion isn't going to be, I don't think, too tough. I think Bahamut Rydia is going to be the best way to get through it.
Yeah, it's Antlion. I mean, to be fair, I mean, those counters are going to do, roughly about 200 to 300, if I'm recalling correctly in that spot. It isn't too awfully bad. You might want to hold off on one of your Zerkers, maybe make Kane jump instead of going Berserk there. Scouting out that Antlion, not too bad. You'd rather see something magical here instead of punchy, because the magic attack in this spot is kind of garbage.
Yeah, the magic attack is kind of garbage. The physical is medium. It's not... Most of the rest of the underworld is scarier as far as physical attacks than this spot, but the physical is stronger than the magic, though.
Yeah, part of me really wants to know what else is in this underground or what's in the Feymarch is really what I want to know here.
Yeah, that is going to be a big mystery depending on what we see here as far as the item in this tower check.
Yeah, and we could have something still incredibly rude at Sealed Cave, because you know what? I kind of want to, see there, just because I want to see roving packs of
cave bats and stuff.
Cave bats. I want to see roving packs of cave bat. Meanwhile, Mooney's saying that the ship has sailed on Yamcha.
Oh, yeah, decides to take the Palom. Very interesting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you still have a Edward in your party, you might as well upgrade it to someone who could do something, right?
Yeah, well, there you go. There's one of the things we need. Now Superpiccolo is one item away. That's a pass.
Very nice to get that. Now, I think that means... are the Fey March bosses the only key item checks that we have left?
Baron still as well.
Oh, Baron. Yeah, we haven't gone through Baron yet. Yeah.
Meanwhile, with that XP catch-up mechanic, it just takes one fight, and Quake Kid is immediately online. Mooney has probably the advantages sweepers here. Bahamut and Quake, what's better than dragons? Earthquakes, yes. What's better than both of them? Or no, dragons better than earthquakes, but what's better? Both of them.
Yeah, it's just had to I don't know if it's better than dragons, but
yeah, dragons better than earthquakes, but dragons and earthquakes, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Might be kind of thinking about altering the strategy to Threemus to become a reflect strategy as well, because now with 3 mages in the party, reflecting spells against Threemus might be the way to go. Looks like Superpiccolo wants to get the hashtag do your objectives. Like, we've got an objective here, the Seal Cave. We've got to do it at some point. Let's knock this out right now, and then we'll deal with everything else.
Yeah,
I think that there's
actually. I don't know if you. Forgot to warp actually.
Yeah, those dwarfs are not going to let him in. Did he leave the castle completely? If he didn't leave the castle completely, he could keep warping until he gets there. But
yeah, I mean, the good news is we know that it's only a defense sword. And he did leave. Yeah, people confirming he did leave. And yeah, you're feeling absolutely horrible about that. The good news is...
There's 2 parts of this good news, yeah.
Yeah, the good news is A, that's an objective anyway, and B, that Mooney has not been to the Fey March yet, does not know about that completely free Luca key.
And so C, it's not even a key item.
Yeah, so we'll get a get-out-of-jail-free card on that one. But is going to turn in that pan and catch up a little bit here on the key item checks.
Now, the risk here for Superpiccolo is if this boss is one that's particularly nasty, there are some that are very scary in this spot, then that could pose a danger. Like, someone like Rubicante could become extremely dangerous in this spot.
To answer a question in chat, does warp glitching save you time? Very little, but a little bit. All right, come on, show me K-Bats.
Oh, it is the Dark Elf.
Only Dark Elf.
Yeah, with an Excal Cecil, this is not going to be a super difficult fight. This is one where the first form, the Dark Elf form, is definitely going to be scarier than the transform form. The Weeks and the Whispers, which inflict Piggy, are a lot scarier than the Dark Dragon form, but the Excal Cecil just makes mincemeat of this boss no matter what.
Now, this is a really fast spot, as did want to berserk up that Cecil for maximum amount of hits there, but Dark Elf is kind of giving Superpiccolo the business here, but there is mean change right there. Should be fine past this.
I think it's 1 or 2 more hits from Cecil and you're done.
Yep. Oh, well, speaking of things that could entirely be free, we've got a Lunar Sparkle, which we know is not Wyvern. And
we also have this, as long as we can get Cecil alive past the second kick, we've got this fight in the bag.
Yeah, this is one point where I'd really want to throw Cecil in the back row, but the board AI does not come through, and is going to get right through this here. There's the ouch. Down goes Karate.
And down goes the Dark Dragon, and both of them. This is going to be objective number 3 completed for Superpiccolo, and a Darkness Crystal for Moo Money.
Oh, now that is interesting. And I don't know how interesting that is yet. So honestly, yeah, I'd heal up here. Looks like Mumuni is just gonna take the in-stay here. Got Kamikazes in Bestiaries. I believe we've also seen Plague, so Plague's off the board. So I believe it has to be D-Lunars, Ogopogo, or Pale Dim, I believe.
I wouldn't want to face any of those in the Leviathan spot.
I would actually, and I don't know if actually did Mumuni not go to Baron Inn, or was that I could have swore one of them didn't. If you have some Star Veils and this is D-Lunars, I might take this and go for Lunar Frogs here.
It is Ogopogo, and
that
yeah,
is
that's
about 80 tons of nope in a 2-ton bucket.
Now, I think, I hope I'm wrong here. It looked, from what I saw, it looked like Moo Money didn't save after getting the Darkness Crystal. I hope I'm
I'm not sure.
I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong as well. We're probably going to see here in just a little bit as Mumuni is still not going to the top of the tower here. Is probably going to turn in the pan.
If he goes to Mysidia and there's no cutscene, then...
Yeah, is stopping at Agart here. Might be looking in the item shop. Both of them kind of faded a lot of early item shop checks. I know Superpiccolo was running down to about 10 life potions left. Has been throwing a few and is saying, heck the Fey March, we're going to Baron.
Oh, and there was a cursed ring for sale in Agard as well. Very interesting to know.
Yeah, I am wondering what Mumuni was looking for in the armor shop there. There was Sylph, by the way, as well. Agard having all the early game goods.
Yeah, there are still some decent armor things that you could find in ungated shops. Things like bandanas, for example, are a very nice piece of gear.
Yeah, is switching off, leaving the Falcon on the ground, just in case you need to pick up that hovercraft a little bit later. Is going back underground. And...
Gonna do that sealed cave check.
It's gonna get the sealed cave check. Okay, so is gonna run into that Dark Imp. Will be well equipped to deal with the Dark Imp check. And actually, I totally get why Mumuni is doing this. Because if I had to guess, Mumuni is like, oh no, I left that item back there. And it would be bugging the crap out of me, honestly.
And we've got Superpiccolo now going through the Baron things, and we had seen at the very beginning of the seed that Odin is in the Beigen spot. Now it's time to pay the piper here and defeat this Odin. Shouldn't be too tough. The stack of coffins being used really efficiently to keep making sure that center row Cecil is knocked out.
Yeah, that opening life potion maybe not so much, but Bahamut cleans just about anything and everything up that you'd ever want in Baron. So if you're Superpiccolo, do you throw caution to the wind and say, hey, let's go check out this Odin spots? Or do you, you're gonna go up, you're gonna take out the throne and be safe about things?
It would be another big gamble to go to that Odin spot first. But ooh, this is a very nice turn of events, finding the D-Mist here.
Yeah, D-Mist finding the best way to keep the King of Baron from sending the package to your village is by usurping the throne.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, I totally get it. I am totally fine with D-Mist being the King of Baron. Or the Queen of Baron in this case.
Bahamut making short work of the lower level dragon summon available. Mumoni getting the word that the warp glitch wasn't the important part here, but it is still an objective, so it's not like this is a huge waste for Mumoni here.
still a sigh of relief. And have you heard about Fourth Cecil?
We've got so many Cecils. But we are going to get the key item check from the Baron Pot very shortly here. So this is going to be the big thing. Definitely looking for Tower Key or Adamant is what Superpiccolo is going to want more than anything else.
Meanwhile, Dark Elf knows exactly what is up from both from both runners, as Rosa was the one to get piggied both times.
That's the laser focus there.
I don't want your Berserk. No, thank you. However,
but luckily, it looks like
spear.
Yeah, the white spear on Kane really does a number as well.
That's a ninja star in the Baron Pot.
Yeah, that's.
It's 25,000 gold is what it is right now.
It is 25,000 gold. We don't need a lot of gold at this point of the seed. We've got so much extra really high tier loot.
Yeah, I would say both runners are fairly well loaded in the equipment department. Piccolo's still gonna loot this out, find a Charm Rod, which actually is pretty good for that. Would be good if you had that Halum, but with the Stardust Rod in hand, not so much.
Yeah, it's the second best rod, but when you've already got the best rod, the second best rod is just the stick.
All right, so our runners are back even up on objectives here. Meanwhile, now Superpiccolo, we really hope. Oh, just some. There's nothing rude here.
Fight and he has a problem. I wonder how many. He still has 8 of them in the bag. So yeah, this is a simple fight.
Maybe out of hourglasses actually. Now that I think about it. Because I don't think Superpiccolo bought that many hourglasses.
Looks like it's still going to be enough to get through this, even without the hourglass.
Yep, and gonna life glitch them all for good measure.
Yeah, and nice little chunk of experience there.
And we get...
There we go, the tower key.
That's go mode right there.
Yeah, Superpiccolo just needs to go ahead and complete the Super Cannon room in the Tower of Babel, which requires that tower key, and he will have the crystal, and he's got access to Threemus with that pass, so he will have everything that he needs in order to complete it. But the question becomes then, what's he going to do in order to get the levels that he needs in order to complete it? Because we don't have Sirens, we don't have an Edge, which would be a way to steal Sirens. He doesn't even have the Darkness Crystal yet.
Well, I was about to say, as Mumuni did give us a Sand Ruby check there. What about 5th Cecil?
Well, it's definitely unflavor for this seed.
But yeah, that said, you're right on the money. Superpiccolo has everything he needs, except for a grind. While Mumuni does at least have knowledge of that Darkness Crystal, even if he reset out of it. Did fly by Fabul, kind of wondering.
Mumuni about to get the bad news here.
We're gonna find out real fast on that reset here, and
the
warning bells are starting to go off here. Like, wait a minute here. That darkness isn't lit up. Uh-oh.
Like, what happened here? What went wrong? Like, oh. Yeah, that's that's what I thought happened, and it's like, I was hoping that I was wrong, but no, that's what happened. I think the thing was he didn't have a cabin, so he went to the inn, and then when he saw the boss that was Ogopogo there, he just reset out. But since he wasn't at the save point with the cabin, which is where you'd normally save right after you heal, he went through a different route. It just wasn't
Yeah, and
Like it was out of routine, probably.
Yeah, and respawning at that save point makes you think that you might have. So
Yeah,
might
exactly.
have accidentally played a cruel trick on himself.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. I think this is another thing. We saw some things that looked like they were nerves for both of our runners so far in this race. And you kind of understand it. This is the do or die race for both of these runners here in the hook route. So the nerves are going to be at their, most tense right now.
All right, so you are Superpiccolo. You are looking for a grind here.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Superpiccolo still has not turned in that Mist Dragon.
There's that, yeah.
Now, we know that Darkness here for Mumuni is on Yang.
Yes.
It would actually be Superpiccolo's 10th key item to boot. If you find Sirens on the Moon, Gold Dragons are definitely a possibility here.
Gold dragons are a possibility. Eggs would work well. I think you've got enough money to make them work, and one-shotting them shouldn't be too tough.
Yeah, you got a couple Dragoon Spears for that.
So yeah, gold dragons. You've got hourglasses available, Dragoon Spears. So yeah, a gold dragon grind wouldn't be bad. Now, if Sirens aren't available on the moon, because remember, in this flag set, it's not 100% guaranteed that that Sirens are going to be available in a shop. So the question becomes, what do you do in that case?
Mm-hmm. So Superpiccolo is checking things out. Found a Masamune for the ninja not appearing in this seed unless he's on the moon or the giant or the package. But is diving down to the Fame Arch. I was about to say, could be looking at low-level strats, possibly.
So now, but if Piccolo goes down to the Fame Arch and sees, since he hasn't peaked those bosses yet, if he goes down there and sees Yang as one of the bosses there, he'll probably do it because it's a really easy, quick kill, and then he'll be much better. He'll be at that 10 key items. Whatever grind he tries to do, he'll be set up for, whether it's a siren or something else.
Absolutely. And Superpiccolo just warped out.
Yeah, really interesting to see what's going to happen now. He's going to make that miss check here.
Oh, he remembered the Mist Dragon. Okay, I get this. So Mumuni just, I believe, went back for some more hourglasses, which, hey, if you're heading to the moon, why not?
Just a silver apple.
And saying maybe I should have just kept going, but you know what? If I just remembered that the Mist Dragon was operational and I wanted a Darkness Crystal for my grind, I totally get this play.
Yeah.
So what Mumuni needs here is for that rock to turn up somewhere easy.
Yeah, he needs to get the adamant really quickly here on the moon, since he didn't go through the Baron chain. What was that, Sheila 2 for the Baron key?
Yeah, Sheila 2 for the Baron key. Kind of surprised that I believe Mumuni did go down and did swat Yang with the pan. Did not collect the Sheila 1 and Sheila 2 checks, however.
Well, it looks like Superpiccolo is in the Fame Arch now. Probably going to see that Yang, or is he just? Oh yeah, just kamikaze. Maybe reminding or trying to remind himself if there were actually sirens for sale down there, and he just forgot about them as well.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to see the moon shop here almost instantly on Mumuni's side. I mean, with 10 key items, trapdoors is not a too bad.
Go to the giant.
no Tella, no source of weak.
This is a spicy.
Mech Giants,
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
This might be for Mac Giants.
Yes, the second Cecil is purposely dead to keep agility values, relative agility values low. I'm not going to get into the full dissertation of agility right now because it's entire treatises could be probably written on it by now. But Peter, I believe instead of sorcery, I'm gonna call it witchcraft, voodoo, things like that. Not even taking chances with this whole Cecil swing. Just gonna berserk Cecil up here.
It looks like it's a setup for a D machine grind, but
Does know can't run is on. I mean, there are some spots here which can still give you what you need there. Anyway, Darkness Crystal for Superpiccolo is going straight to the moon. But yeah, D machines, but yeah, definitely no weak caster. So not sure why you entirely want D machines at this point, but this could be complete nerves too.
I am curious to see what goes on here.
Mm-hmm. Ten key item. That's actually the 11th key item for Piccolo there, I believe. I do not believe you can coffin D machines. You can weak them, you cannot coffin them. So the question is, for Super Piccolo, if you do not find Siren, where do you grind?
Yeah, that is a question. I think there's a couple of places where you can go that are relatively safe. Oh, maybe he didn't know that they were immune to coffin. Getting the bad news.
Terrible news there.
A couple places that I think might still be worth it for a grind at this point. We do have all the trapdoors in the sealed cave at 10 key items. If you're just going for a berserker grind, that might be sufficient at this point. Another option is the first floor of the Bahamut Cave has a lot of Warlock carry formations, and those are relatively doable, I think, and the Warlocks give great experience.
Yeah, if I'm going to put random encounters on anywhere, it's going to be there or Lunar Subterrane 4s. I believe that has the greatest chance of, even this, if not like gold dragons, gold and silver dragon fights, which are almost just as good.
Yeah, gold, silver dragons are good, but oftentimes, especially if you go too deep, that floor that you're talking about is good. No sirens on the moon either, so yeah, we're a sirenless. Now, there is the chance the character in the Lunar Palace could be Tella, and that could be a way to do a D machine grind still.
Yeah, it also could be Edge, which would allow sirens to be stolen as well.
Yeah, so there's still options.
Piccolo having none of it, going straight back to Earth here.
Might be considering that door grind. There's also, if you've got the right spells, you can do like the Conjurer Arachne in the Land of Summoned Monsters as well.
Yeah, is checking shops here, wondering if is going to avail itself to, ethers, why not? And unfortunately, Mooney does take a wipe here in the Giant to the fight you wanted if you had a Tella.
Getting right back on the horse, though, Moo Money wants to get at least the experience from this. Finds one Mac Giant. Can't run from it. Nope, not going to do that in this flag set.
No. we see Superpiccolo lining back up for... looks like trapdoors here.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a door grind incoming here.
Meanwhile, Moonmoony is going back for another set of fights here. The one bad thing about it, I mean, even though, like, you do have Kane with a Dragoon Lance, which can actually do very solid damage to those D-Machines. Unfortunately, those D-Machines just spam fire, and they have a rather rude physical counter. That nobody in that party is really up to dealing with at the moment.
And we've got the horseman fight instead. Now, this one might be... I mean, this is not a free fight by any stretch of the imagination, but it might be more doable in general than that D-Machine as well.
Yeah, and is pulling up the Bahamut there. So, might want to be up. Never mind, Rhea did just drop there. So, hey, this Berserk Cecil might call us another horseman at least. Like I said, not the best experience in the world. Not, any experience is not bad experience, though.
At this point, yeah, if you're going here to do some grinding, you've got to get some experience out of it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You got to come away with something, and to be completely fair, Moonmoony does not know where D-Mist is. A lot of the free bosses are gone, but honestly, since you're here, that Elements fight is worth 100k. That CPU fight is worth 150k. I'd poke my head at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad thought in the slightest there.
I mean, may not be, to be fair, there's a lot of things you don't want to put up with there, but if you find something, especially like, the dream at either one of those spots would be like Kaipo Guards. Something you might glitch. Water Hag is off the table. Water Hag was at the D-Mist spot. However, Piccolo having a little bit of issue with this door grind here. Is getting kind of a little dinged up here by those trapdoors. Is at least starting to kind of power through them here.
Yeah, the Superpiccolo's strategy has been to make sure that all of his characters that he wants to gain the experience gets the experience for every fight. That is going to be a bit of a slower way to get through these fights. But you're going to be more efficient in gaining your experience this way. The faster way of doing it is just say whoever ends up getting this search and disrupt, like just forsake them for this one fight, pick them up afterwards and deal with the door, and then afterwards revive them, and hopefully they'll get the experience next time around.
Yeah.
There are two different thoughts of how to do it. I haven't done a whole lot of experience as to which one's better or worse, though.
Yeah, the one thing I see is Superpiccolo's life potion count is at 2.
That is something to be considered. Yeah, ETAP in the chat saying the walls aren't coming out. If you've got something like a heroine robe for Rosa to make sure that she can be fast enough to act before the disrupt comes out, then wall becomes a very good strategy to deal with the trapdoors. But if you don't have access to that, if you don't have a way to make her super fast, then it's a tough way. You end up oftentimes casting wall after the disrupt comes out.
I think Superpiccolo is marching for that save point here, if I had to guess.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, probably wants to recover. If he's using Bahamut a lot, then that MP is going to run out relatively quickly. Oh, just making a save.
Yeah, now this is interesting. I see Palom here rolling up a stop on that D machine. Ooh, does not land.
And that D machine's counterpunch is pretty strong there. As you can see, hitting Palom for over 700 damage.
Is going to throw an Hourglass, which, while will stop the D machine in its tracks, will also stop the Searcher. Though, I mean, to be fair, at the very least, you will get one life glitch out of this guy. So is getting to the point where your Cecil and your Kane here are starting to get to HP levels where they want to be here. Now, I don't believe either of them did see a Dwarf Axe. Is that correct?
I don't recall seeing it. I don't think they've been able to back row glitch Kane. So I think that's a big part of why he's been jumping a lot of the seed.
Yeah, and with that, that Cecil is right about... I didn't see the level when he went back to the menu there. But that Cecil is getting to the point where a lot of people like to just kill him off and just kind of let it ride at that point. A 43, Dr. Cossack says, so this might be Cecil's last trap door. And
that heal is not curing the stop from the I
mean, he could kind of wait it out there, but nope, here comes the Bahamut. True, with Anchor Cecil, there is no reason to keep second Cecil down. Or is he first Cecil?
There's definitely a reason to keep first Cecil down, but second Cecil, or yeah, I guess it depends. Like in priority order, first Cecil is the one you want to keep down. I'm talking to inside baseball now, but at any rate, the grinds are continuing, and this is kind of, I think this is there's been a couple really interesting things about this seed. We've had that really tough roadblock boss in the Dark Knight Cecil in the King Queen Evelyn spot, and now we've got this seed where we're given like the tools that are usually what we rely on to do grinding in Free Enterprise, either the Sirens or the D machine, the traditional using weak on D machines to grind out them. They're not available to us in this seed, so you got to see something alternate. Moo Money trying to do what he can to make this D machine fight work for him as best as he can with these limited resources, and Superpiccolo going for this door grind, which isn't something we see in a lot of races, but every now and then you gotta dust it off.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised with the lack of Sirens that neither did check the Moon Altar.
The Lunar character? Yeah.
Yeah, just to see if there's a, 11th hour Tella up there or something.
Yeah, as we mentioned, if it was an 11th hour Tella or Edge, that could make grinding so much easier for our runners. But knowing this seed, it's probably Cecil.
Yeah, and actually, I'm still kind of looking at just to see if Superpiccolo's getting it right almost to the... actually, probably is right at the point where I would say might be ready to go. Maybe wants a little bit more padding on that Rosa there. Pretty much as I love her, gonna take just too long to get to nuke at this point.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking about nuke, the strategies that we've got available probably aren't going to be there. Luckily, we've got really good berserkers set up, so it's not as necessary here.
I mean, to be fair, we are seeing D machines one at a time here, and I mean, to be fair, I mean, Mooney has hit a few encounters with that D machine. Is actually kind of doing pretty good against this horseman here.
If Cecil can reliably one-shot those horsemen, that might be a better grind for Moo Money at this point in time.
Yeah, was berserked there, I believe. Is picking up a few levels here. Does get Rosa to Cure 4, is only a little bit behind the grind of Superpiccolo, but again, just does not have that go mode, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's going to be the big difference. He needs to go and complete the pan sequence to get that Baron key, and then go to the Odin throne if he wants to go the way that Super Piccolo does, or he could go to the moon and hopefully find that adamant before too long as well.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I said, I mean, Super Piccolo's team is looking like it's pretty much ready to go here. The only thing I'd really want to find if I were Super Piccolo is probably a source of life potions. Just in case. Yeah, it is out of doors. And here we go.
But as you can see, this door grind does, especially at the 10 key items level, which we're at this point, is a pretty serviceable grind. It's neither the fastest nor the most plentiful source of experience, but it is reliable in how much experience it gives, and that's very important as well.
Yeah, and yeah, not the optimal one, but hey, you need XP. You're an hour 53 in the seed.
Yeah, it's it'll get the job done.
Yeah, I'd take a flyer on that as Sir right now, honestly.
Yeah, it's no flashy Lamborghini. It's more your used Buick, but it still gets you from point A to point B.
Divine Moogle, the early seed was a little bit rough. The most rough part of it was, however, it was a required hook seed with a Pain Man at the Dark Knight, or at the King Queen spot that did give our runners all kinds of issues there.
But there were other nasty spots in the early thing that back attack elements gave our runners some headaches. That the Rubicon spot of it was really mean. There was the Golbez in the Baron Inn, which was nasty as well. So yeah, the early part of the seed, the bosses were a lot easier the second half than the first, but like the grind option has been the big challenge of the second half of the seed.
Yeah. Speaking of 11th hour things, hey, those were Cure 3s right outside the door. Those are nice.
Yeah, very nice to get a very useful item for the Z fight right before going there. So yeah.
All right, so it's taken a little bit here. However, I see the first of what I'm going to assume is going to be many flags flying here. Definitely a little squiggly question mark followed by a N. What would that be?
Well, because I don't play that way, I'll just go ahead and ask it. Whose boss are we going to kick today?
Whose boss's butt are we going to kick today? Sure, why not?
Oh, I might have even said it wrong. I didn't even think about it.
You know what? I could totally get behind that, though.
That's how much I commit to my bits.
Okay.
Yeah, see the chat. Shenron would be a great Zeromus fight for this particular race with the naming schemes that our runners have used today, without a doubt.
I'm pretty sure Threemus is in there somewhere.
Ooh, Frieza would be great too. But Piccolo now in the final fight, good to see who this Zeromus's true form is here.
Is passing turns wants to get an idea on who's going first here, or actually who's going right before Rosa. does want to queue up that Berserk in time here. Oh, maybe not. There. I don't think I've seen Selmus yet.
Grrg. Oh. Seto Kaiba.
I believe what we're saying right now is, screw the rules, I have Big Bang.
I think, if you're gonna be like talking about like anime power rankings, I think Kaiba is way higher than anybody in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my, that's still a fairly spicy quick Big Bang there.
Well, we've got the important characters, Rosa, Kane, and Cecil. They're the characters that matter for this. But yeah, this
yeah, but that is a very fast I believe the nerf came out there, but
if this Big Bang's nerfed, then we might be in good shape here. We didn't get Bacchus's either, did we?
No, we definitely did see Bacchus's. This is a dry seed that was nerfed. And I did see like one Bacchus in Mumuni's inventory, maybe like out of Cave Eblin or something, but does need to get some offense going. I'm pretty sure the virus is coming out. That's Black Hole here.
Yeah, Black Hole first, yeah.
I mean, to kind of chip in on the chat here, I mean, Kaiba runs a defense contractor. Bulma like seems to run like everything in Dragon Ball, so I'm still gonna go on. She has more money.
Yeah, I'll give Bulma the money advantage, but I mean that's pretty insignificant compared to how well Kaiba plays card games. I mean, if we're gonna be honest.
Yeah, but can he play them on motorcycles? Piccolo seems to want to be committing to reflex strats. Did Kate use another Star Veil after that? Oh yeah, he did, but unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not sure, and to be fair, I mean, if I were Superpiccolo right here, I'd probably run Reset out here.
Yeah, and then kind of retool.
Find me a Silk Web, yeah, find me a Silk Web somewhere.
Either that or just take that battle speed down.
Yep. Meanwhile, Mooney does pick up another 200,000 XP. This alternate giant grind is working eventually, as those are Z ready levels there. A little low, but I mean, still has work left to do. Encounters are off, and does look to be taking a peek at the element spot here, only to find a moon boss. And this is not what I'd want to see here. Well, I mean, maybe. I mean,
with that Dragoon Lance.
Say, if I get a Berserk onto Kane after he lands here, we're probably in business. Just don't throw that Bahamut. Don't throw it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Pale Dim does counter summons with a Quake spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the magic is weak here. Is gonna pick off 17 there, most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of damage, but at least throw up a float before. Oh, that is a pathetic Quake, honestly. definitely got the memo. Hey, you know, let's just zerk up this Kane here, and or at least get Blinks up. Is going to use that one Bacchus here on Pale Dim. I could see that. And yeah, I get that because it just, yeah, Pepita, the devs, I don't want to say they hated her, but, I mean, at the moon there, yeah, you figured Bahamut at that point, and almost everything on the moon has a summon counter.
I think it might be through testing that a lot of people were getting through a lot of the encounters by just spamming the summons because they're very strong. And so they just wanted to put a counter at it at these most difficult spots in the game. Like, you've got to change up your strategy somewhat here. That's my thought as to a reason why.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't know if they figured on us learning that the wonders of the Berserk spell, let's say.
In-depth analysis by such a large group of people since this since free enterprise really came about.
True. I mean, we're still learning things about this game.
I think I saw several of the characters have star veils up.
Yeah, and I believe this is the first Big Bang, right?
Yeah, so this one's nerfed. But if there's a lot of characters with star veils, then the Cure 4 doesn't become quite as good. Looks like we're gonna do some reflect strats here. Gonna try to get it down with a hybrid. Ooh, this is a little spicy. I kind of like this. You'd kind of like there to be. Oh, we're transitioning into a reflect strat. Just gonna use the Cure 3s as the curative, the way to restore it as necessary. I kind of like this. I think this is pretty heads up from Superpiccolo.
Yeah, that is interesting up to the point here where, I mean, that Rydia is fairly decked out, but oh, here comes the crystal for the nerf here, actually.
Yeah, so using the Cure 3s to revive, the crystal to nerf, and bouncing but that Cure 4 or that's an unfortunate counter on Rosa. Ooh, D-Lunars in the CPU spot. That is a nasty spot for D-Lunars.
Yeah, they're just gonna hit really fast and like a truck. That said, Dragoon Spear still exists.
This is why that Dragoon Spear is so good.
Yeah, and unlike the element spot, there's not a whole bunch of hit points to chew through in this position.
Well, we got another Crystal Sword hit there. I wonder if Superpiccolo is trying to go just pure hybrid, or is going to try to count how much damage he's doing to avoid the. Oh no, I think he's berserked. I think we're just
totally berserked here. So
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
just hybrid, which makes sense too. Yeah.
Yeah, with the amount of damage that has been put out, I would assume that the face has been tipped by now. Oh, and
that Star Veil must have run out there.
Yeah.
It happens, but we've got a Crystal Sword Cecil who's now berserked. We're probably good for the rest of this fight from now. We did do some nice extra damage. I guess we're gonna have to re-up that berserk now.
Yep, and so it did wear off, and yeah, Kane throwing up a new veil here. Oh, those are rocks already. That's a lot of damage that has gone through here.
like those those lit threes were doing respectable damage. The white was doing over 9k, and we've got a berserk Excal Cecil. We're doing a lot of damage. Yeah.
Yeah, this battle is pretty much over here. And one more swing ought to do it. Up more rocks.
And there we go.
There's the flash. There's the crack. And go ahead.
Our winner of this race and proceeding into the playoff for the hook route is Superpiccolo, and I believe we are joined by Superpiccolo right now. GG's on your win. This was a tough seed.
That was something. Thank you. And GG's to Moon as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of challenges in this. Of all the challenges that were presented to you in this seed, what do you think was the most difficult one, and what was your thoughts on how to deal with it?
Friggin' DK Cecil in that king and queen spot. Stuck there for so long, and that's where I was really stubborn, because in the last restreamed race, I tried to do a 2 Cecil run as well, and didn't know how to anchor agility properly and all that, so like, screw it, I'm going to try it again. And then see Cecil, like, okay. So I'll just keep tanking it until I can manage to get a Cure 3 off, and eventually that worked. But I was so terrified that he had some secret strat that I just wasn't familiar with, or he got through it faster. That was the scariest part by far.
It was interesting watching you in that, because you had recognized that you had that Cure 3, and you knew that as long as the rolls went in your favor, it was possible. And so you kept doing, like, I know it can work, so let me keep trying it until it does. Like, and eventually you got the rolls you needed on those dark waves, and you got through. And then, like, the relief fight afterward was that Leviathan, right?
Yeah, Levy wasn't bad there. Like, after the Dark Knight fight, I was just, this is fine.
So another challenge was at the end of the seed, figuring out what you're going to do, because, like, once you found that there were no sirens available for sale, you had to kind of think of what you're going to do, and you settled on door grind. Was that something that that you have a lot of practice with? Is that something you're familiar with, comfortable with, or
I haven't done it in probably a year.
Yeah, so
it was just while I was in the sealed cave earlier, the first time, I told myself, if nothing else, this is my grind spot. So I was already kind of stuck to it mentally.
And didn't have a lot of. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. That one. I have one after this.
Okay, I was gonna say the other thing that this like, it didn't give you a lot of character choices too. You ended up with that Excalibur Cecil, who did quite a bit of damage your second time in that that Threemus fight.
Yeah.
The first Threemus fight kind of went a little belly up for you, but you were able to come around and have a very successful second attempt at that. Tell me what was in your thought after that first wipe, and what you needed to do the second time around.
I was just mad that radio wiped right away, because that kind of threw off my whole order. Like, that's all it came down to. And then when I went back into the fight, I was like, crap, I forgot to switch their order, which was probably the best mistake I could have made, because then it got that shield on Rydia. Yeah.
Okay, I think Knight had a question for you.
Yeah, actually, it was one more that I was getting in chat here. So honestly, at that point, you know, it was kind of that thought where he was going through. You just saw Cure 2s on the moon, and I was definitely, like, kind of wondering, like, does he go after, like, some lunar bosses maybe, just flipping counters on the way down? I mean, you went doors, and what was your idea behind doors over the other options?
I just remembered that I used to like doing that, but like I said, it's been a long time, and I didn't want to take the risk of moon bosses maybe taking too long or wiping. I felt safer with the doors, having Rydia with Bahamut. As long as she wouldn't get wiped out, I knew a Bahamut would take him out, or 3 Excal hits. So I figured that was more worth the risk.
Well, this puts you to 2-1. You've made it through the Swiss rounds of the hook, and means you're into a playoff game. Um, what are your thoughts on your experience so far in this event? And do you have anything that you want to say about the upcoming play-in race?
Uh, Overall, it's been just a really good experience because, like I said in the Discord a couple times, like I've been doing this since January, February of 2008. I was never ever able to enter any tournaments due to scheduling and all that kind of stuff. And I never really did many serious seeds, so it's been awesome to have like random problems come up and questions come up, and the community has just been really helpful, really quick to give some kind of an answer. That's the only reason I've honestly made it through this seed, because of how poorly I did the agility management last time. Uh, Inven, Baka, a couple of you guys all said you were close, but here's what you could do. And then I just kind of took that to heart. So it's been awesome, just the experience overall with all of you.
Well, that's good to hear, and I want to wish you good luck going forward. It's going to be a tough race. There's a lot
Yeah.
of good runners still in that hook route who are all going to be fighting for that spot. Did you have any final thoughts before we let you go today?
No, it's just again, GG's Mooney. You did your best. That was a brutal seed. I wanted to give up. You kept pushing through. So awesome job, and thanks everybody.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and big GGs again. And to everybody watching, make sure you go ahead and give Superpiccolo a follow. Did some great work in a very nasty seed here. And
Yeah, have a good night.
yeah, have a good night. And then we're working on getting some questions for Mooney as well. And in the meantime, I just want to say this was a great race. Really excited to see some really difficult things. As you see on the screen, it looks like Mooney did decide to call it after Superpiccolo had finished. Totally understandable. But really had fun watching this race, all things considered. And I want to give a shout out. We got Neobari on the restream today, Baka Shinobi handling the tracking duties. Without them, there wouldn't be a show today to see. And so, big thanks to everyone who helps volunteer on these behind the scenes things, because we've had so many of these races restreamed in this event, and it's so good that we've got that. And so big thanks to them. Also big shout out to everybody over at the Random Media Network, letting us have a lot of our races being showcased on there. We've got a great partnership, Free Enterprise and Randomania, and it's good to see that continue going as well. So just want to make sure that everybody there gets thanked as well. So. And then, so yeah, we're getting some questions from Mumoni. I don't think we're going to get a direct interview, but we're going to get some questions, and we're going to read what their answers to the questions are as well. So we're just getting that set up. So just hang on a moment, and we'll get that ready for you.
Yeah, meanwhile, while that was going on, I did see chat pointing out that Adamant was at the Twin Harp on the moon somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, the Twin Harp was on the moon, and that's where the Adamant was. Our restreamer says it looks like it was behind D Lunars, but at any rate, it was a bit of a trek. If the path for Mooney would have been to go through the Adamant, it was going to be a long haul because had to clear quite a bit of it. And the question becomes like, would you go back to the blue planet, even if it was the first key item they found on the moon was that Twin Harp? Do you go back to the blue planet just for that one check? You know, probably not. You probably full clear the moon at that point, looking for that Adamant, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to justify. I mean, it's a lot easier to justify a pan check or even a rat tail check, something that's free, something you can just do really quick. Something that takes a whole ton of time, like a Twin Harp, is really hard to justify.
And it's like a couple of unfortunate things kind of hit Mooney, and especially like I imagine it was nerves, but that moment with the realization that the darkness crystal wasn't in his inventory, that was just really unfortunate about that reset there. But we are going to give you something, a bit of a treat here. There is the music. We've got Chrono Trigger.
No, I actually just gotta turn the stream music on because this is a track I kind of just really love.
And if you're talking about a game with great music, Chrono Trigger is, man, one of the best, I think.
Yeah, it's I mean, to be fair, they've really just kind of completely one thing the SNES era definitely did was just kind of knock most of the music completely out of the park there. It's I'm one of those people I could listen to game music for days. Every once in a while, Scala, we do listen to things other than game music, but not often.
Yeah, I got to get my Madonna fix in, so every now and then.
I mean, to be fair, like I don't even listen to other music, honestly. Like what do you listen to while you're driving? I'm like, sports ball talk.
Well, that's true. I do tend to listen to talk radio in the car, but you know, like I love me pop music, so. And remember, we're getting some answers for some questions that we from Mumuni, and once we get that, we'll go ahead and relay that information to you for the interview. And afterwards, we're going to go ahead and send you. We've got more free enterprise action over on the free enterprise channel today. We've got the race between Kia Makefal versus Prof. Corey. And so we're going to send you on over to there once we're done here, and just so that you know what's going on. In the meantime, Daitu, did you have any other thoughts on this seed itself?
After Dark Knight Cecil, it was everything I wanted it to be. Now, mind you, I remember like going through like certain races with Dark Knight Cecil in that spot, where we'd at least have like Fusoya like 1,500 hit points or something,
Sure.
and it was still just kind of nuts sometimes, just because how fast that spot is. It's like, oh look, nobody got a turn. But yeah, that is an incredibly rude spot for that. And then just kind of seeing a little bit of, and one of the questions I did want to ask there, that we're hopefully getting back to is that was a very interesting giant grind. That, I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of liking this whole. Hey, we didn't have weak, but we had a dragoon spear, and if we've got a black mage with the stop spell, is this? I mean, actually, I do not know how much HP does a D machine have before the weak spell. I mean, just off the top of your head.
I don't know. I know that it has less than 10 HP after weak is cast. That's the only time that I've ever cared about how much HP a D machine has.
Yeah, if it's 10 to 12k, if you set it up with that, you have your stop caster where you normally have Tella in the rotation casting weak, then just passing around
into the
until you get to
playoff
a dragon
for
killer,
the
be
hook
it
route
somebody
is
with an arty
Superpiccolo,
bow and
and I
arrows
believe
or
we
a
are
dragoon
joined
sphere or anything like
by
that.
Superpiccolo right now. GG's on your win.
I mean,
this was a tough seed.
I kind of wonder if that could be, it's probably a little slower than normal D machine, but that could be a viable grind. D machine without weak, new tech, maybe.
Well, speaking of that, I think we actually have Moomuni in himself. Moomuni, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks. Hi, everyone.
So, this was a very difficult seed.
It was totally trolled.
Yes.
I apologize immediately because I will say I did call the Dark Knight Cecil in the King Queen spot. I did bring the commentator's curse, so I apologize in advance.
It's okay. It's always funny, the commentator curse. Honestly, I saw bad word. I laugh.
Okay. Good.
I wrote that those Superpiccolo. Hey, it's gonna be a nice seed. Then the second headward appear. Oh no! What have we done?
Yeah, this seed did not give you a lot of choices for characters, did it?
Yeah. Also, I did a lot of mistake in the early seed. I ditched the wrong character with the gear, so it didn't help me. But I'm still glad to get out of this situation with a lower possibility of gear.
And I believe Nightdew wanted to ask you a question about your grind, Nightdew.
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of hear real quick that unfortunately you did seem to think that the objective for the super cannon was to clear the giant, but you did do some interesting things in the grind, in the giant grind, where you looking to maybe just drop some, or maybe just looking to use stop spells and a dragoon spear to kind of facilitate a new little D machine grind there.
Yes, exactly. I had a lot of difficulty with the D machine grind because I wasn't able to remember well where was the tile to get a guaranteed D machine grind spot. So I need, I would be honest, I open Google and look on the net. So that's true. So by the time I got pretty trolled by the RNG, I got the fight a tile away from the D machine spot. So when I got a fight with the D machine, I was okay. No more mistake here.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, this means that you fall to 1 and 2 in the hook route. You didn't qualify for the play-in, but you made it through the 3 rounds of the Swiss here. what are your final thoughts on your experience in this event so far?
Even I like I say that at the other match, I totally love this tournament. The organization is pretty well, and I'm pretty sure we did a PB in organization between player. The match was booked really fast, and opponent was really nice to participate with some concept with naming character. So I will definitely come back for the next event, and it's maybe the price I have to pay to be unrespectful with the professional dwarf.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But considering I'm the person who came up with the idea for the job dwarf, maybe, yeah, maybe that's just your just desserts then.
I mean, to be fair, both runners did not give us a drop door check, and both runners went into that room.
Nice.
Well, GG's on the event, and glad to hear that you're going to be joining us for whenever the next event happens. And thank you for taking a bit of time to join us, and thank you for letting us watch you during your race today.
Thanks. It's my pleasure to participate, and I'm pretty excited to the next event.
Absolutely, we'll be looking forward to seeing you in the next event. We'll be looking forward to anybody who is. I mean, I love this community. He said, yeah, you see the next event, everybody. I mean, just join in. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was Moo Mooney. And remember to follow both Moo Mooney and Superpiccolo. Also, one last shout out to our Restream crew today, Neobari on the Restream, Baka Shinobi on the tracking, my co-commentator Nightdew. As I mentioned before, we're going to head you on over to the Free Enterprise channel. And so I want to thank everybody for watching, and stay tuned for some more Free Enterprise action tonight. As you're going to see Prof. Corey and PMA K-Fal.